Have you ever woken up, looked around your home, and suddenly felt like life quietly skipped ahead without telling you? The house is quieter. Your phone doesn't light up like it used to. Your body needs a moment before it agrees to get out of bed. You're still you inside, but somehow the world, your body, and even your reflection seem to have changed their rules overnight. Nobody gives you a handbook for this part of life. People say things like getting older is a blessing, but they rarely talk about the confusing, lonely, painful side of it. That's what we're going to do today. Not to scare you, but to set you free. Because there are 5 bitter truths about old age that almost nobody wants to admit. And once you accept them, something surprising happens. You stop fighting reality, you stop clinging to what's already gone, and you finally start to feel a deeper kind of peace. So let's start with the first bitter truth, the one most people feel but almost never say out loud. Truth number 1. You will be forgotten faster than you think. At first, that sounds almost cruel, doesn't it? You spend a lifetime working hard, raising children, supporting friends, showing up when people need you. You sacrifice sleep, energy, money, and dreams. Part of you quietly hopes that one day, people will look back and say, "We wouldn't be here without them." You might picture grandchildren asking about your life, your name being repeated in stories long after you're gone. But the reality is different. Life pulls everyone forward. Children grow up, start their own families, and get swallowed by their own responsibilities. Grandchildren juggle school, work, and relationships. Friends get sick, move away, or simply get caught up in their own battles. The world keeps spinning, with or without our memories. You start to notice it in small, painful ways. Messages that used to come every day become weekly, then monthly. Big family updates come through short calls or quick notes instead of long, heartfelt conversations. You realize that the house you poured your soul into will probably belong to strangers one day. They'll paint over the colors you carefully chose, renovate the kitchen you once saved years for, and never know how many birthdays, arguments, quiet tears, and bursts of laughter those walls have seen. The photo albums you lovingly arranged might end up in a box, then in a storage unit, then eventually gone. When you look at it that way, the idea of being remembered forever starts to look more like a story we tell ourselves to feel safer. But here's the shift that changes everything. Once you understand that most of the world will move on, you can stop living your life as a performance for that world. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to be unforgettable. You don't have to chase achievements just so people will talk about you when you're not around. You can focus on something far more real, the quality of the moments you're actually living. I once heard about a retired engineer who spent decades designing important systems for huge companies. He thought his name would echo in meetings long after he left. But a few years after he retired, nobody called about his old projects anymore. New people had taken his place. One day he said, with a sad smile, "The buildings are still standing, but my name disappeared." At first, this realization broke his heart. Then he had an unexpected thought. If the world isn't watching me anymore, I'm finally free to live a life that feels good to me. So he did. He started a tiny garden in his backyard. He wrote short stories for fun that no one else ever read. He spent unhurried afternoons with his grandchildren instead of worrying about his old title. For the first time, he said, "I'm not living for an imaginary audience." That's the hidden gift of this first bitter truth. Yes, one day your name will fade from most people's minds. But that means you get to stop acting and start living. The real legacy you leave isn't your name in someone's memory. It's the way your kindness, choices, and love quietly shape the people who are alive right now. They may not remember every detail of you, but they will carry parts of you inside them without even realizing it. And that brings us to the next truth, one that doesn't show up in history books, but shows up every morning when you try to get out of bed. Truth number 2, your body will not always match your spirit. Inside, you might feel like the same person you were at 30 or 40. You still find the same jokes funny. You still want to move quickly, get things done, help others like you used to. But your body sends a different message. Your knees argue with you when you go down the stairs. Your back complains when you bend too long. You stand up too fast and suddenly need a second to catch your balance. Tasks that were once automatic now require planning. You look at a high shelf and think, is what's up there even worth the effort? It can feel like a deep betrayal. People say things like, I used to lift my kids with one arm and sprint across the yard. Now I have to think twice before I carry a grocery bag. It's easy to judge yourself, to think, I'm weak now. I'm failing. But the truth is simpler and kinder. Your body has lived a long time. It has carried you through decades of early mornings, late nights, injuries you brushed off, and stress you pushed through. Over time, your muscles naturally become smaller and weaker. Your joints lose some of the easy cushioning they once had. Your body doesn't heal overnight anymore. That doesn't make it your enemy. It makes it a record of your life. I heard about a woman who adored dancing. For years, she and her husband would glide across the floor every weekend. When arthritis settled into her hips, she couldn't move the way she wanted anymore. The pain wasn't just physical, it was emotional. She stopped going to the dance hall. She said, if I can't dance like before, I don't want to see that place again. Months went by. Then one evening, her granddaughter put on an old song in the living room and held out her hands. Just sway with me, she said. No spins, no fast steps. Just a gentle sway, side to side. They moved slowly, almost standing in place. The grandmother laughed, winced a little, then laughed again. When the music stopped, she had tears in her eyes. I thought if I couldn't dance like my younger self, the joy was gone, she whispered. I didn't know it could still be here, in a different shape. That's what this truth is asking of you. Maybe you can't run like you used to, but you can still walk and notice the way the light hits the trees. Maybe you can't lift heavy things, but you can still stretch, still use your hands, still move in ways that keep you connected to your body. Fighting your body's limits as if they're personal insults only adds suffering. Accepting those limits doesn't mean giving up. It means respecting the history written into your muscles and bones. When you see your body as a loyal companion that needs gentler care, not as a broken machine that let you down, you stop asking, why can't I do what I used to? And start asking, what can I do today, in this body, that I'll be grateful for tomorrow? Of course, your body isn't the only thing that changes with age. The people around you do too. And that leads us into a truth that often hurts even more than stiff joints. Truth number 3, you can't keep everyone in your life. If you look back over your life, there were probably times when your calendar was full and your phone never stopped buzzing. Friends from work, neighbors, school parents, relatives dropping by, social events, gatherings. It felt natural to assume many of those relationships would last forever. But slowly, almost without warning, you notice the pattern shifting. Some people move away and never call. Others stay close by but drift emotionally. People you thought would always be there become busy, distant, or simply silent. It's tempting to take this personally, to replay conversations and wonder what you did wrong. To look at your phone and think, if I stopped reaching out, would anyone notice? But the reality is that every person is carrying their own full, heavy life. Children grow up and juggle jobs, bills, partners, and health issues. Friends face their own private storms. People don't always disappear because you aren't important. Sometimes they disappear because they don't know how to carry everything they're facing and still show up properly for you. There's another, quieter truth here too. Not every relationship was meant to last until the final chapter. Think of your life like a long book with many different sections. The people who were perfect for your young parent chapter might not fit as well into your retired grandparent chapter. Old colleagues, neighbors, and acquaintances were right for that season, but your needs, and theirs, changed. Holding on tightly to every old connection can keep you so focused on who left that you miss the people quietly standing in front of you now. I once heard about an older man who used to meet the same group of friends every week to play cards. For decades, it was his favorite ritual. One friend moved to another city. Another got sick. A couple of them passed away. The group shrank, then disappeared. He said, "It felt like watching my own life dissolve one chair at a time." For a while, he refused to join anything new. He told himself, "It will never be the same, so why try?" Then a neighbor invited him to a small community class, and he reluctantly agreed, expecting nothing. Over time, he found himself laughing again, sharing stories with people he'd never met before. He even became a kind of guide for a few younger members who saw him as a source of wisdom. "I lost my old table," he said one day, "but I found a new one I never expected." Letting go of people you can't hold on to doesn't mean you're cold or ungrateful. It means you understand that some paths only run side by side for a while. Instead of chasing after every person who drifts away, you can choose to pour your energy into the ones who are still here, those who call, who listen, who light up when they see you. You can decide to be open to new faces, even later in life, because connection doesn't have an age limit. This bitter truth hurts, but it also cleans your emotional house. It makes room for relationships that are mutual, tender, and real. And while you're navigating changing relationships, there's another place where time makes itself visible every single day, in the mirror. Truth number 4, you must accept that you no longer look young. You might feel calm about aging until you see an old photo. There you are, with smoother skin, sharper jawline, different hair, different body. You remember what it felt like to walk into a room and recognize that people saw you in a certain way. Our world ties so much value to looking young and polished that when age finally settles on your face, it can feel like losing part of your worth. You notice lines on your forehead, softness where there used to be firmness, shadows under your eyes that don't fade with a single good night's sleep. Maybe you catch yourself adjusting your clothes in the mirror, trying to hide parts of yourself. Maybe you find any excuse to avoid pictures. "I'll take the photo," you say, stepping behind the camera instead of in front of it. What makes this so painful is not just the physical change. It's the story you've absorbed that older faces are less than younger ones. But think about where those lines came from. They didn't appear overnight. They arrived slowly, during late-night talks, long days at work, laughter that made your eyes crinkle, times you cried in the car but still kept going. Your skin is not betraying you. It's recording you. One grandmother refused to be in family pictures for years. She would wave the camera away and say, "No one needs to see this old face." One day, her granddaughter looked at her and said, "But if you're not in the photos, how will we remember that you were there?" That question cut straight through her fear. She realized that in trying to hide the signs of her age, she was accidentally erasing herself from her own family's history. Accepting that you no longer look young isn't about letting yourself go. It's about changing the question. Instead of "How can I look 20 again?" you ask, "How can I look like the healthiest, truest version of my age?" Suddenly, the focus shifts from fighting time to supporting yourself. Maybe that looks like gentle movement, better sleep, and food that actually makes your body feel good. Maybe it looks like wearing clothes that are comfortable and make you feel like you. not like you're chasing a younger version of yourself. A face with lines and a body that has changed can still radiate something powerful: kindness, calmness, playfulness, wisdom. The glow of someone who has seen a lot and is still capable of love is far more striking than a perfectly smooth forehead. When you stop punishing your reflection for being honest, you free up so much energy. That energy can go into living instead of hiding. And that's important, because there's one more bitter truth, one that brings all the others into sharp focus. Truth number 5. If you live long enough, you will lose more people you love. This is the part of aging nobody can soften for you. As the years go on, you will attend more funerals. You will say goodbye to friends you've known for decades. You might lose siblings, cousins, and neighbors you grew up with. You may even have to face the unimaginable pain of losing a partner you thought you'd stand beside forever. Sometimes, in very cruel moments, people even outlive their own children. The longer you live, the more of these goodbyes you accumulate, and each one leaves a mark. Grief in later life doesn't always look like tears every day. Sometimes it looks like a quiet chair at the table that used to be someone's favorite spot. It looks like a coffee mug left on the shelf because you can't bring yourself to give it away. It sounds like a house that used to be full of overlapping voices and is now filled with the hum of a refrigerator and the ticking of a clock. You might reach for your phone to share a silly thought or bit of news, and then it hits you. The person you're reaching for isn't there anymore. That realization can feel like the air being knocked out of your chest. In that pain, some people decide, often without saying it out loud, I can't do this again. I won't get close to anyone anymore. It hurts too much when they go. On the surface, that sounds protective. In reality, it slowly turns life into a gray, numb waiting room. The hard truth is this: the reason it hurts so deeply to lose someone is because you love them deeply. Grief is not a sign you're weak. It's a sign that your heart did exactly what it was meant to do. It attached, it cared, it intertwined itself with another life. I heard about a man who lost his brother, his best friend, and his wife within a few years. For a while, he felt like a shell. He ate alone, watched television on low volume, and let entire days pass with almost no conversation. Then one afternoon, his neighbor knocked and asked a simple favor. Her young son had a school project about what life was like when our grandparents were young, and would he be willing to talk to the boy for a few minutes? His first instinct was to say no. He didn't want to open his mouth and feel all the memories spill out. But he said yes. They sat at the kitchen table, and he told the boy about his childhood, old games, what the streets used to look like, funny stories involving his brother and his wife. For the first time in a long time, he laughed while remembering them. After the boy left, he realized the pain was still there, but it had changed shape. It wasn't just a heavy stone in his chest. It had become something that also carried warmth. That's one of the quiet ways to live with this final truth. You can't stop loss, but you can decide what you do with it. You can tell the stories of the people you've loved. You can cook their favorite meal and share it with someone new. You can keep little rituals, a walk in a place they liked, a song you play on certain days, a habit you continue in their honor. You can let the lessons they taught you shape how you treat others now. In that way, they don't disappear. They live through you, not in some grand, dramatic way, but in the choices you make on ordinary days. So where does all of this leave you? 5 truths that hurt to hear. Most people won't remember you for long. Your body won't always do what your spirit wants. You can't keep everyone in your life. Your reflection will change, and you'll lose people you love. It would be easy to hear all this and feel only sadness. But hidden under each truth is an invitation. If you won't be remembered forever, you're free to focus on making today kind and meaningful instead of performing for tomorrow. If your body is slower, you're invited to treat it with patience, appreciation, and care instead of anger. If people drift away, you're invited to treasure the ones who stay and bravely welcome new faces. If you no longer look young, you're invited to discover a deeper kind of beauty, the beauty of presence and character. If you lose people you love, you're invited to carry them forward not by stopping your life, but by letting their love influence how you live the rest of yours. Peace in old age doesn't come from pretending everything is fine. It doesn't come from chasing miracle cures, from trying to look 20 again, or from forcing people to stay who clearly need to go. It comes from telling yourself the truth, even when it stings, and then choosing your response. You may not control how many days you have left, but you still control how you fill the ones in front of you. You still decide whether you wake up and spend the day complaining about what's gone or appreciating what's here. You still choose whether to isolate yourself or to say hello, make a call, smile at a stranger, or open your door when someone knocks. If you're watching this right now, that means your story isn't finished. You are still here. You still have time to soften old grudges, to say, "I love you," more freely, to forgive yourself for choices you wish you'd made differently. You still have time to notice small joys, the warmth of a cup in your hands, the sound of a familiar voice, the comfort of a favorite chair, the satisfaction of doing one kind thing no one else will ever know about. You don't need a perfect past or a guaranteed future to live a meaningful day. You just need the willingness to accept what is and to do the next small, good thing you can. So here's my question to you. Knowing these 5 truths, what is one quiet promise you're willing to make to yourself today? It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's, "I'll treat my body with more kindness." Maybe it's, "I'll call someone I miss." Maybe it's, "I'll stop hiding from the camera and let myself be in the picture." Choose one promise, just one, and hold it gently in your mind. If you're comfortable, share it with others. Not because the world needs to remember your name forever, but because sometimes seeing someone else choose hope makes it easier for us to choose it too. If this video has made something inside you feel seen, if it lifted a little weight off your shoulders or gave you a new way to look at your later years, let that feeling guide your next step. Take a breath. Place a hand over your heart for a moment. You have lived through so much. You are still capable of so much. Old age isn't only about what you've lost. It's also about how gently, wisely, and bravely you decide to live with what remains.